welcome to the Warrior's Promise, where we unlock the path to reclaiming your personal power. I'm your host, Victoria Islas, a master trainer, functional health coach, energy healer, and metaphysical practitioner, guiding you through a journey of strength from the inside out. We're going to explore how movement, nutrition, and mindset can help you take back control of your life. This isn't just about fitness or food. This is about healing on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's about tapping into your warrior spirit and using that power to face life's challenges with resilience, grace, and confidence. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and let's step into the strength that's already within you. Hey Warriors, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into something I know so many of us have struggled with and are struggling with, especially with social media right now, and it's diet culture. And before you roll your eyes and think, oh, I've heard all of this before, let me tell you, diet culture today is nothing like it was 5 or 10 years ago. In fact, it's evolved into something even sneakier and it's everywhere. So I want to break it down for you and explain how the Warrior's Way is a complete different approach to health that's real, sustainable, and not dependent on the latest fad or quick fix. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by wellness trends, constantly feeling like you were missing something, or maybe you're sick of feeling like your body isn't enough unless it fits into a certain box, this episode is for you. And it continues on with the topic of the month that I promised to my followers in March, right? So it was going to be all about sustainable weight loss, right? So today we're going to talk about how to break free from diet culture in 2025 and how to build, again, a sustainable health routine. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. So when we talk about the diet culture, I want you to think beyond just like low-fat products or the promise of bikini bodies, especially right now, right? We're in March. So I'm subscribed to a bunch of, email newsletters and a bunch of great fitness resources that I like and nutrition resources that I've signed up for. But they're all, going for the, hey, get your summer body, right? So that's kind of like what we're talking about here. And that was the old version of diet culture, I believe, too, the whole bikini bodies, but it's still happening, right? So now it's like, get ready for the summer, get your summer body. But diet culture in 2025 does look a little different. And to be honest, it's a lot sneakier, right? So today it's wrapped up in like the language of biohacking, longevity, gut health, and self-optimization. So these are all terms that on the surface sound great. And don't get me wrong, many of these concepts can be very useful if you approach them from the right mindset. Okay, I think that is definitely the message I want to give today. I'm not against any of this. I think there's a lot of great resources out there, a lot of great advice, but I also think there's really bad ones, right? And a lot of red flags. So for me, the issue is this: diet culture is still out there. It's just dressed up in new clothing, right? So it's just dressed up a little different, and it's selling a narrative that we need to constantly fix ourselves. And I will also add in like anything that makes you feel fear or makes you feel bad about food or about exercise, like this is good, this is bad, that's definitely a red flag, okay? And you shouldn't be feeling like you need to fix yourself, right? That is not the mindset that I approach with my clients. So, for example, let's look at the current trend with GLP-1 medications. And just a disclaimer, I'm not against it. I think that there are, diabetics that need this medication, absolutely, for blood sugar control. And I absolutely agree that, there's a certain person out there that would qualify for GLP-1 medications for weight loss, right? Someone who's super obese and can't do it on their own, and with proper supervision and a good doctor behind it that, would give the right dosages and things like that. I think that GLP-1 medications have their place, but I do think that they're being used a little bit too much now, and by people who can seriously probably get a lot of weight loss by just doing it the sustainable way, right? So again, not against it, but you've probably heard all of these things, right? But these are, GLP-1s are being used to help those with obesity and diabetes to manage their weight. And again, I'm cool with that. But lately, these meds have become the latest quick fix, and they're being marketed to people who aren't severely obese. I see this in my own clinic, like with my own doctor. I mean, it's everywhere, right? So to me, that's a red flag. For me, I see that as, now we're using it as like, another diet pill. But people are jumping on these meds to shed a few pounds. And I just can't help but notice that this is just another way diet culture is rearing its ugly head, right? Now, I'm not judging anyone's journey. If GLP-1 meds are helping people, that's their choice. But for the rest of us who want something different, something that's a little more sustainable, empowering, and lasting, we need to start asking, like, what is it that we're really after, right? So let's kind of go into that a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit about like the sneaky diet culture messaging right now. So if you're thinking, okay, but I'm not really into diet culture anymore, I totally hear you. I used to think the same thing, especially because I have a history of using diet pills when I was a teenager. I'm going to be 35 this year, so I've been learning this stuff on the way as well, even as a coach. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, all the coaching resources coaching certification resources that I've been educating myself on. I mean, my mindset compared to my teenage years, I mean, is completely different, right? And even in my 20s, I mean, when I look back, so there's been a big shift in my own mindset as just an individual and even as a coach. But here's the thing, it's not so obvious as it used to be when it comes to this diet culture stuff. It's hiding in wellness trends, as I said, and it's making you think that it's about health. But here's the truth. Diet culture isn't about health at all. It's about control, restriction, and shame. So some common sneaky signs of diet culture today. And again, it's not with everything, but here are some signs. Here are some we'll go into like red flags, right? So health equals weight loss. So if your version of health only revolves around shrinking your body, making your body look a certain way, right? That's diet culture. Health should be about feeling good. It should be about feeling strong. It should be about feeling energized, not just about weight loss, okay? Then we have the obsession with clean eating. Sure, I've used this word and I try not to use it, but it's been so drilled into us, like it's crazy. But sure, eating whole foods is important, but, if you're constantly like stressing over every single ingredient or fearing every single ingredient or fearing a cheat meal, that's not health. It's an obsession. And it's a psychological one. So if you're constantly having like fearful thoughts about eating and about choosing like the right foods all the time, that's not healthy anymore, right? Then we've got extreme diets and supplements. So it says like, kind of like eat this, don't eat that, or, take this supplementation to fix everything. Diet culture tries to sell the idea that we need certain products or extreme habits to be perfect, right? And it comes to that whole perfect mentality. So that's another red flag, right? Then you've got the earn your food mentality. So, you're not supposed to earn food by working out or punishing yourself. Eating is not a transaction at all. Food should just be there to enjoy. It should be there to fuel you, and it shouldn't be seen as a reward or a punishment, right? So you don't have to earn your food, and you definitely shouldn't be feeling that way about, when you sit down and you're eating, right? So it's sneaky, right? So it's really, really sneaky. And, it often masquerades as wellness, self-care, or the pursuit of optimal health. And I mean, I like the idea behind that. And I know there's good intentions behind that, but underneath it sometimes, and I say sometimes because I know there's functional practitioners out there that really do help people, in their clinics and stuff. But, it's still telling you that you aren't good enough just as you are. There's always some type of like, like I have to pursue something like constantly, like, okay, cool. What's next? And, I'm calling BS on that. So now that we've talked about that, so what's the solution, right? How do we step off the hamster wheel on this, on diet culture, and just start building something real, something sustainable? Sustainability means just something that's going to last, not something that's just like a few weeks and then you're done, right? And then you're back to another quick fix somewhere. So that's where the warrior's way comes in. This isn't about fitting into a size or looking a certain way. This is about feeling stronger, feeling more empowered, and just healthy overall, no matter what your body looks like. So, the warrior way means we stop chasing quick fixes and instead we focus on long-term sustainable habits. And yes, those habits will vary for each person because we're all on our own journeys, right? So something that might work for me will not work for you. And something that works for you might not work for me. There's things that I can control. There's things that I can't control. Same thing with you. So, there are some universal things that warriors do differently. And I'm just going to go ahead and share the habits with you, some sustainable habits. So, warriors focus on strength, not size. So we're not here to lose weight for the sake of losing weight or looking in a mirror and hating our bodies, right? That's not good. So we're here to build strength, mentality, in mentality and in your emotions, physically, right? We're working on getting better every day, not just shrinking ourselves. And it's crazy when you start focusing on, strength or enjoying your workouts more, the weight tends to fall off on its own. It's crazy how when you start like kind of obsessing over it, like the weight stays on. So enjoy your workouts, focus on strength, focus on, I'm doing this for just to feel good for the day, right? I'm doing this for my mental health. I'm doing this, whatever the reason, right? Try to focus on that. Second, warriors don't restrict food. They nourish their bodies. So forget the good and the bad foods, right? I'm really big on this one when I get nutrition clients, right? I don't want you to see it as good and bad. Real warriors, they eat so that they can nourish their body and their soul and feel good, right? And enjoy their foods without guilt. It's not about, again, restricting food. It's about balance. Then third, we've got, warriors create habits they can sustain, not just follow rules, right? So sustainable habits are, the key to long-term success. And they work because they're sustainable, right? So when we build habits that align with like our values, whether it's like moving our bodies or eating, nutrient dense foods or prioritizing mental health, we kind of set ourselves up for real success. Sometimes this happens to people, without even thinking about it. And that's really like the way, like you shouldn't be constantly, again, waking up every morning, like feeling like starved or waking up thinking about, I have to meal prep or, I have to do this. Like it should be part of your daily living. You get what I'm saying? Like you should be waking up happy, ready to enjoy the day, ready to enjoy your workouts, ready to enjoy your nutrition, what you're eating, right? Let's just call it eating, right? Let's not even give it the name nutrition. It's like, it's the foods you eat on a daily basis. You do this every single day. It sucks to wake up every day and not enjoy that, okay? You're human. You're supposed to be enjoying your life, not sitting around fearing things and feeling bad about things, feeling guilty, right? And then fourth, warriors don't measure success by the numbers on the scale. They measure it by their progress, whether that's big or small. The smallest wins are a win still, right? And resilience, right? So, the scale isn't your enemy. I also don't want you to feel like, I can't weigh myself or whatever. But it's also not the end all be all, right? Your journey is about how you feel. It's about how strong you're getting. It's about how your body moves, maybe moving without pain, moving the way you should be, right? Naturally. And how you show up in the day, every day, right? How do you show up? And again, at the end of the day, being a warrior isn't about following rules. It's about creating a life that just fits your values, that fits your goals, and your overall well-being. Okay. So as always, I never leave my listeners without homework. So we're going to wrap this up with something you can do right now. Your homework for this week is all about starting small and building towards something sustainable, right? So we're going to start small and then we're going to build on that so that it's what? Sustainable. So first thing is kind of reflect on your current habits. Take a moment to just think about like what you're eating right now, what's working. Ask yourself what isn't working, and are there any rules you follow that feel very restrictive or that just don't make sense anymore? And the best way to reflect is to start by writing it down, maybe in a journal, and then just kind of reread it back and then see what stands out to you. Second thing is, set one sustainable nutrition goal for the week. Maybe it's adding more vegetables to your meals. Maybe it's getting in protein at every meal, I don't know how many times like I've had clients come to me and they think they're eating enough protein, and it's like they've been missing protein in some meals. And it's one of those simple things that we might miss, right? So eating protein at every meal. And by the way, when you eat protein, that's good for blood sugar balance, okay? Then you've got, drinking enough water. Are you drinking enough water? This is something we overestimate sometimes, right? And sometimes we think we're drinking the perfect amount of water, and then, you realize, whoa, no, I'm not, when you start actually reflecting or journaling on it. There's great apps to track these things as well. I don't have any in the back of my mind. I know in my coaching programs, my app includes like checking off tasks every day. And that's how I know like my clients are like on their way. So maybe looking it up on Google, seeing if there's any apps for you to track, some sustainable nutrition goals for the week. But whatever it is, make it something that you can actually stick to. That's what we're talking about, right? Making small changes that affect your overall well-being in the long run, right? And then again, the goal is sustainability, not perfection. Sustainability, not perfection. Sustainability, not perfection. Third, practice mindful eating. So this week before each meal, maybe pause and like check in with your body. Are you eating because you're hungry or because you're stressed or bored? And then when you eat, just take a few deep breaths and really pay attention to how the food is making you feel, right? So that's pretty much practicing mindful eating. And this one on its own, it does great wonders. Okay. And by the way, these sustainable tips that I'm giving you here, this homework that I'm giving you, these are things that I do with my own clients, and I charge for this. So, I mean, these things they work. And if any of these like really hit the mark for you, try it. I guarantee they will they will get you closer to whatever goal you might have. Okay. And then fourth, move for strength, not weight loss. This is something we talked about, right? So whether it's like lifting, or maybe you're doing still Mace training, right? That's what I'm all about. So if you're doing still Mace training, or maybe yoga, or even, going for a walk, whatever the case, find an activity that just makes you feel empowered and strong. And, if the still Mace is that for you, then do the still Mace. Not something that's just about burning calories, right? Don't make it a thing of calories in, calories out. Yes, the science behind that is 100%, but just don't make it about that every single time, and if you do want to make it about that, let's say you do want to track, and I totally get it. I know I love to get data. Wear a Whoop. I'll add a link below in the description below that you can check out. You can get 30 days, a 30-day free trial if you want to check it out. Get a Whoop. And then when you go out and you work out, you don't even have to think about it. It tracks everything for you. I mean, it literally tracks your activity. You don't even have to go into the app and ask it to track your activity. It will pop it up. So, I mean, if you're into that, then why don't you just wear a Whoop and just don't think about it. Just go and have fun and enjoy whatever makes you feel empowered, right? So that would be like one of my tips, definitely an added extra bonus on here. But that's about it. That's all I have for homework. I know this topic can be very challenging, but remember that you're not alone. And obviously, if you want one-on-one coaching, I do have services open for that. Full app access, one-on-one consultations, coaching sessions where we can really dial in like how we can help you reach your goals, right? Whether that's weight loss, maybe weight gain. I know there's a lot of you struggling with weight gain as well, maybe building muscle, whatever the case, whatever the goal is. Maybe it's just for health purposes, right? Longevity. Maybe it's because you have chronic pain. I totally get that. I mean, I have an autoimmune disorder, so I have to eat a very particular way. For example, I can't eat gluten. I'm gluten intolerant. So, everyone's different. And I'm definitely a coach that understands almost every single goal. And, whatever you may be struggling with, go ahead and check out the link below for that as well, for my coaching services. But I just want to let you know that, if you're ready to move away from diet culture and just start building something real with your health, you're already on the right path if you're listening to this episode, right? So give yourself a pat on the back for that and make this a win. If you made it all the way to the end of this podcast, it's a win for you this week, okay? So as always, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode. Reach out to me on social media at Still Mace Warrior, or share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. Right? Believe it or not, you can change someone's life. So if you're ready to train and live the warrior's way, check out my coaching programs at smwfit.com, or you can visit stillmacewarrior.com. Either one works. Again, I'll add the descriptions below. But until then, stay strong, stay real, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I'll make sure to keep giving you the same topic, right? Which is sustainable weight loss, sustainable health. All right. So I'll see you next time.